Hello viewers, this is your SSK and today we have an interesting story from Chandamama and the name of the story is Sindbad the Sailor. I do not know whether it was sleep or a swoon, but I thought that it lasted 100 years. When I at last opened my eyes again, there was air and sunshine around me. I realized that I was lying on an extensive lawn covered with soft grass. My raft was tied up on the bank of the stream, and there were several Ethiopians standing about watching me. Having seen me awake, they addressed me in their language which I do not understand, and I could not answer them. But one of them stepped forward and asked me in excellent Arabic, "Who are you? Where did you come from? What was the purpose of your visit to our country? You see, we are peasants. While we are watering our fields, we saw you rat floating down the current and sleeping on it. We brought the raft to the bank and laid you down. We did not want to wake you up and disturb your sound sleep. Please tell us how you happened to come here." "Give me some food first," I said. "I shall tell you whatever you want to know." Those good people gave me food and my hunger was satiated. I got back my strength and told them my story. When they heard my account, they began to talk among themselves in surprise. The man who acted as my interpreter also told me what those people said. It appeared they wanted to take me to their king and make me narrate my adventures to him. I gladly agreed to their suggestion. They took me to their king while some of them carried my raft with all the wealth on it. The king received me very warmly. At his request, I told him my story, not leaving out a single detail. He congratulated me for having come out alive from such dangers, and I opened up my treasures and showed him what profits my adventures has brought me. The king was amazed at the quantities of precious stone and ambergris that I had brought. I turned out that he was a good judge of diamonds. I made a gift of one gem from each variety, and in his return he let me remain as his guest in his palace, and treated me with great respect. This enabled me to enjoy not only the friendship of king but also that of his courtiers. They asked me several details about Bhagat, which was my native city, and also about the administration of that great city. I gave them an impressive account of our ruler Khalifa Harun al-Rashid. At last the king said, "I can see that your Khalifa is a great man. I have a desire to cultivate his friendship. I am thinking of sending him suitable gifts. Will you carry them for me?" "With great pleasure," I answered. "I shall not only carry your gifts to him, but also I shall tell him that you are a wise king whose friendship is worth cultivating." Then the king sent for the gifts which he wanted me to take to the Khalifa. Among them was a just carved out of a ruby. I was a finger thick and 6 inches high. It was filled with pearls as large as nuts. Another gift was a carpet made from the skin of an enormous serpent. It had the capacity to heal any sick man who lay down upon it. Another gift was a quantity of 200 camphor balls. Other gifts included 2 elephants' tusks of enormous size. Giving me a letter which was to be delivered to Khalifa, the king said, "You must convey my apologies to your Khalifa for sending him such insignificant gifts. Tell him that I love him with all my heart." "But Sindbad," he added, "why don't you stay with me? I shall find someone else to carry these gifts to Khalifa." "O king," I replied, "your generosity overwhelms me, but there is a ship ready to sail for Basra, and I am anxious to see my country, my family, and children once more. Let me go." He had no intention of keeping me against my will, so he sent for the captain and the other merchants who were sailing in the ship, put me in their charge, paid my passage in advance, and loaded me with gifts. I have these gifts with me even now. I took leave for the king as well as other officials of court and went aboard the ship. I reached Basra without any mishap and finally arrived in Baghdad. On leaving the ship, I went to see the Khalifa, paid him my respects, and handed him the letter from the king of Ethiopia. The Khalifa read the letter, examined the gifts that I had brought, and asked, "Is he really as rich as he appears to be?" "Sir," I replied, "he is not only rich, but he is also just and able to administration. The people are so happy that I never noticed the slightest rupture between the people and the king. Indeed, he is worthy of your friendship." Then the Khalifa presented me with a robe of honor and rich gifts. He commanded his scribes to write down my story and treasure it among his state papers. It hastened to my house and lived there surrounded by riches and respect among my friends and relationships, leading a life of ease and luxury.